Good subscribers, welcome back to my channel. This is Girls Connection, the World Connection. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share. Also, click the notification bell to receive daily news updates locally and internationally. Stories coming up in today's news headlines are: man dies in fire after burying his daughter 2 weeks ago. Smoke grenade and 145 rounds of ammunition found during St. Catherine raid. Lockdown. Jamaicans go into hiding as news of sweeping deportation raids drives fears into immigrants. Bethel town relieved after gangster kill, and cops probe death of returning resident. Man dies in fire after burying murdered daughter 2 weeks ago. The community of Georges Hill, located between St. John and Crofts Hill in Clarendon, woke up this morning to scenes of fiery destruction. An 83-year-old resident of the rural community, Alvin Civil, better known as Pitata, perished in a fire that engulfed the 2-apartment concrete house where he lived alone. The late farmer, only 2 Saturdays ago, traveled to Meadowrest Memorial Gardens to bury one of his favorite daughters, Diane Civil, who was murdered recently outside Clarendon. The murder weighed heavily on Pitata, especially considering that the daughter who was killed usually ensured that his medical and other needs were met. He now has 4 children alive. One of the daughters, Verna Civil, was a picture of grief when she arrived at the scene of Georges Hill this morning. She explained that her father was unhappy about his daughter not being buried at his residence. Other relatives and neighbors also reported that Pitata seemingly had a premonition of his death and was telling people that he felt as though his demise was. An elderly woman, Lucille Palmer, who lives a hibiscus fence apart from the late Pitata, told the news that she heard a short cry coming from Pitata's house minutes before 5 o'clock this morning. She added that after seeing the house on fire, she shouted for help and ran to a shop, then to a neighboring community known as Pantry, where she informed Pitata's relatives about the blaze. Pitata was a good man, a kind man who would give a lot of jokes, said Palmer, who sat beneath a mango tree and stared at the burnt house and the swelling crowds in disbelief. She for years had volunteered as one of Pitata's caregivers. However, on this fateful day, she could have done nothing to save him. When the smoke was cleared, Pitata's child remains were found lying on the back among the bedroom rubble. His intestine and legs were gone, leaving only the bone structure of his upper body intact. Pitata died holding an enamel mug, a sign that he was either drinking something or trying to put out the blaze at the time death struck. A building block lay in the place where his legs would have been, had they not been missing or burnt beyond recognition. Relatives who knew the bedroom well noted that the remains were not found where Pitata's bed was located. "I feel very upset about it," Delroy Civil, son of the deceased, declared while he broke his days. "I couldn't get to come here yesterday morning, but I visit my father very regular. This no look like lamp burn it down. This look funny to me," he said. Delroy added that his father, who did not have electricity, had stopped using candles and had resorted to using a lamp. The cause of the blaze, however, is to be determined by the police and fire personnel, both of whom visited the scene before Pitata's remains were removed in scorching afternoon sunshine. A resident who gave her name as Lizzie told the Beacon that she up to recently told the late Pitata to turn his life over to his maker. "Pitata was a quiet person to me. I always encouraged him to give his life to the Lord," she said while trying to comfort one of her church sisters, Avanella Sterling. Sterling, who is the mother of Pitata's children, stared in shock at the tragedy that had befallen her one-time lover. She was too distraught to talk. Smoke grenade and 145 rounds of ammunition found during St. Catherine raid. Members of the island security forces seized a total of 145 assorted rounds of ammunition during a massive raid that was carried out in a section of the St. Catherine South Police Division on Sunday. The items were found, which were hidden in a remote section of the parish called the Swamp, police sources said. Several other illegal items, including army fatigue and smoke grenade, along with vegetable matter that appeared to be compressed ganja, and several packages with white powdery substance looking like cocaine were also confiscated, police said. No one was arrested in the raid. Police broke down the ammunition found as 27 5.56mm cartridges, 8 7.76mm cartridges, 79 38 cartridges, 6 48 cartridges, and 2 9mm cartridges, 22 12-gauge cartridges, and 1 40 cartridge, while 6 rifle magazines were also confiscated. Reports are that between the hours of 4:30 a.m. and 9:30 a.m., a joint police military team consisting of police from several formations, including CTOC and the JDF members supported by air and 2 Coast Guard vessels, carried out special operations in the area known as Swamps behind the Dagger Bay in St. Catherine. During the operation, the team found 2 huts in the swamp, which were equipped with electricity and other power devices like solar panels. The assortment of ammunition was seized from the huts. Other gadgets that were found included 7 cellular phones, 1 LG tablet and 1 Dell laptop, and 1 32-inch Blackpoint television, 2 pounds of packaged and pressed vegetable matter resembling ganja, and 2 small packages of white powdery substance resembling cocaine, along with a bulletproof vest, an army shirt, life vest, a smoke grenade, and a small quantity of cash were also found. The police said that all the evidential materials were seized for ballistic and forensic examination where applicable. A large quantity of clothing, mattresses, shoes, a stove, cylinders, and other personal effects, including medication dispensed in the names of several individuals who are to be questioned, were also found. The huts were destroyed and the items that could not be confiscated were burned. It should also be noted that water and electricity supply that was found at the hut were traced back to a premises on Dagger Bay. United States President Donald Trump's announcement last week of impending sweeping deportation raids beginning on Sunday has rattled communities across the North American country, sending several undocumented immigrants, including Jamaicans, into lockdown. As heightened levels of fear gripped immigrants on the weekend, in anticipation of mass sweeps by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE, 2 Jamaicans, one living in the U.S. for 15 years and another for 9, have related to our news team how they have been forced to make dramatic changes to their routines, locking themselves away from even relatives to limit the chances of falling into the dragnet. Miguel said that although he was an avid partygoer, he opted to relocate and remain indoors this past weekend. "Me dey foreign 9 years and live in New York for 5 years. Them said them a start Sunday, but me make sure stay in from Friday night because me no believe them woulda come and make people know. Them probably start a day before, so me no take no chance," he said. "Party miss me Saturday and New York this, and if you want catch people without documents, a party you go. Me stay home and avoid any raid." Miguel told our news team that he has tried unsuccessfully to legalize his stay in the United States. "Me was on the verge to marry, but it never pan out, so me just begin to try again. It not easy as some people make it sound," he reasoned. Vincent, who has been living legally in the U.S. since 2004, said that he avoided going to work this past weekend out of fear that the touted raids would stretch to his place of employment. "Me no normally miss weekend, but with all when me a hear a gwan, I never show up, and my boss understands why. It's a Syrian me work for, and people know that them employ the most illegal immigrants in New York. So where you think the feds would look? I'm not taking any chances," he said. Vincent said that despite settling in the U.S. illegally, he has been a good citizen. "Me no trouble people. Me go on me work and me get me pay. Me send back a little change come to Jamaica when me can. Me just a go and live," he said. He admitted that the president's announcement drove terror into him. Right now, at the most me ever fear being sent back home. Trump a try get re-elected and so him will do anything now, Vincent said. While he also was unsure of exactly where or when the raids would happen, he was not taking any chances. I can't go back to Jamaica right now, and me not young enough to find love. Me can work and that me I do here, he said. Vincent said that checks yesterday had not yet turned up news of any of his associates being nabbed in the raids. I make two links and I don't know of anybody who get grabbed. Right now, me just have to go and read, look and listen. Ask anybody, this are the most me ever hear people talk fear about getting sent home. And it's a thing where the feds do every day, Vincent said. Adding that, he has been in touch with advocacy groups and has legal representatives on standby. The Department of Homeland Security says immigrants living in the U.S. illegally, who were primary targets of this operation, would be removed from the country pursuant to their final order. Those without final orders would be issued a notice to appear before an immigration judge and remain in ICE custody as they await the outcome of their removal proceedings. The raids are reportedly planned to target about 2,000 people who had been previously ordered out of the country but were still living in Baltimore, Atlanta, Chicago, Denver, Houston, Los Angeles, Miami, New Orleans, New York City, and San Francisco. An official in the Trump administration told CNN that parts of the ICE deportation operation began on the weekend and would be expanded into other cities over the coming days. Bethel town relieved after gangster killed. Several residents living within the community of Bethel town in Westmoreland on Monday expressed joy over hearing that the parish's most wanted man, Duchesne Allen, was killed by members of the security forces in St. James on Sunday. My boss, a long time I want the boy for dead because everybody in here afraid for him, one resident said. Enough of we can walk on road here now, and not have to watch we head back. The boy Duchesne killed enough people in a Bethel town, and him and him gang man them drive fear in a way. Commanding officer for Westmoreland Police, Superintendent Gary McKenzie echoed those statements. Bethel town will now be happy with the death of Duchesne Allen, he said. He has been wanted by the Westmoreland Police for quite some time, and he was a person that we had wanted for murders and shootings, and we have been investigating him for other offenses, he said. This person has been in the Bethel town area from which he hails, and he was very fearless. A lot of persons in the community were fearful of him, and I am sure that they are pleased based on what had happened. The residents say Bethel town has been plagued with gang warfare for some time now, as men from Galloway and Mard Road battle each other. They say Allen was very deadly, but gave him credit for the death of another gang leader in the area. Reports are that about 4:30 p.m., members of the Jamaica Defense Force carried out an operation at Kinggate in Anchovies, St. James. During the operation, the soldiers intercepted a Toyota Allian motor car with two men traveling on board. They were greeted with gunfire, and when the fire was returned, Allen and another man were shot. Both were taken to the Cornwall Regional Hospital, where Allen was pronounced dead and the other man admitted in serious condition. A Ruger 9mm pistol containing 9 live rounds was recovered. Cops probe death of returning resident. Residents living in Top Road, Little London in Westmoreland are still expressing shock at the discovery of the decomposing body of a female returning resident that was discovered in the vicinity of her home last Friday. During a visit of the community yesterday, several residents said that the victim, 56-year-old Stephanie Brissett, was a very peaceful and secretive person. Stephanie was living overseas for some time, and then she come live at Top Road, said one resident, who gave his name as Mr. Johnson. A good while now me know her, and she has always been very quiet and peaceful. From she come from foreign and set up the little house, she never trouble anyone. Johnson said Brissett lived alone, but they heard that she had a son in St. Elizabeth. Stephanie buy a nice car some time ago, and when she come from foreign, she used to sell clothes all bought in a Savlamar. But some thieving boy come and thief her car, and from that, she get a blow, Johnson said. From them thief the woman carrying her goods them, her life changed. The concerned community member stated that no one knew how long Brissette had been dead for, because lately she became very secretive and was not relating much with persons within the community. In the meantime, Superintendent in charge of Westmoreland, Gary Mackenzie, said that the police are presently carrying out investigations and cannot determine as yet if foul play was involved in her death. The police got a report that the decomposing body of a female was found at the Top Road in Little London and went to the community, he said. On reaching the location, the scene was processed and the body removed to the morgue for a post-mortem examination. Due to the state of decomposition, the police will have to wait on the post-mortem results to know the true cause of her death. This is Girls Connection, the World Connection. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share. Also, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Thank you.